That's
Right,
beautiful. I love that, Pete.
Well, it was
All-purpose demonstration.
the poster was yellow and black, like in the grocery stores.
Okay.
And it showed, it said all-purpose demonstration. Expected turnout 10,000, Wednesday, June 2nd. And this was, we had over 5,000 people who
Turn out
came,
for the all-purpose demonstration.
right?
I love that.
and they demonstrated for or against anything they wanted. There's a little computer code down in the
Down
corner.
here, you can do whatever you want to do and think. Marvelous. I love those things.
And,
do I get a poster coming with the book?
Right, if you get the book, for you, I'll give you a
Give me
poster.
I'll take it. I'm not
For everyone
proud.
else, I left a little space in the front here,
Okay.
a frame.
Oh,
with an
you
empty
frame your
space.
own.
And it says, this book is dedicated to your caricature here. So
I
I do a
see.
caricature of the person who buys
there.
the book.
Wonderful. See, if you buy the book now, then you get your own caricature. Here's your chance, man. How do you think Pete's going to make a living? That's what I want to know. Okay, let's take a look at your car. I've been talking all this time, dominating the thing. I'm going to let you take over, handle all the cartoons, explain your psychology with quotation marks around it of why you did what you did. Because I know your personality well enough to know that you're a little different than the rest of us, but I understand.
Takes one to know one, right?
Right, you betcha. And I'm a genuine character. Besides, I'm a leader. Well, take a look at some of these cartoons.
Some of these are
Brilliant. They really are. Some, I hate to tell you, and I don't want you to get out of control, but they are brilliant. Some of them I have a little doubt, but I think most of them are pretty indicative of your genius, and I'm not being funny either about that. Now, if we can get
No
on some of
accounting
those
for
cameras,
taste.
okay. Well, we're getting the word from the leader, and he's about to snap in on the camera. And here we go. Ta-da!
There we go.
There's
Okay.
the first one. Lay
This
it on
was
us.
this was a cartoon that won the State Society of Professional Journalists Award this
Ooh, am I impressed?
year.
I'm impressed.
Which I'm very happy about.
I
think
know. I'm
that's,
seriously, I'm impressed.
that is one that I really appreciate receiving, and I was first place this year. This is of the Soviets. This was after some congressman in San Francisco said or in California said something about, you know, if we don't control the Nicaraguans, the Soviets will be off the coast of San Francisco before you know it. And if you could show that again, I'll read it. Shows the two Soviet generals in the war room, and one is reading a newspaper that says Congress cuts, what is it?
$1,000 off.
Congress cuts military budget to, you know, and then it's like some number with all these thousands of zeros after it, and the one general saying, if it goes down another $1,000, we attack.
Right. They'll be helpless. They can't handle the situation. Right. Typical. Okay, let's go to the next one, because I think the next one about Ronald Reagan is very good. You do a really good job on that one.
Thank you.
You have some real insights into the situation.
This is a very expressive one.
Oh, yeah.
This was the previous year, and in fact, this won second place in that same awards contest the
Holy
previous
buckets,
year.
what you do, dominate
2 years
the
in a
thing?
row, I got done pretty well there.
Jeez.
And this is on the military toys, you know, that for Christmas. This is Reagan's MXmas toys. A little kid starts out, the little boy, I want a Rambo doll. And Reagan, I want a CIA spy team in Nicaragua. And a little kid, and a GoBot. And Reagan, and a Star Wars defense system.
Yeah, I know.
The kid is getting more excited. And 10 G.I. Joe dolls. And 10 million new Marines. And the Masters of the Universe. I can't quite read that one.
Well, you
And
know
missiles
the
and
cartoon.
FX. Anyway, it ends up with the little kid saying, and charge it to the folks. And Reagan says, and charge it to the kids.
Right. No, I think that's very ingenious of you to do. Where do you get these ideas from?
Just
I know you create them, but where do you get them from in the first place?
Just reading the news, and I read a lot of, you know, I watch TV news quite a bit because I know that most people get their news from TV.
Right.
And when you do a cartoon, you have to pick a topic that everybody's already pretty familiar with.
Right.
You can't really explain it.
No, you start explaining, cartoon's lost.
Right, there goes
If
the
you
joke.
explain the joke to me, when you do that, that's bad. Let's take a look at the next one, huh? See what it looks like.
This is Ed Meese.
Ed Meese, of course,
He was
everybody knows Chubby.
announced that he was opposed to the, or he wanted to repeal the Miranda decision, you know, which says that you have to read the rights to the person when you arrest them. You're under arrest. You have no rights whatsoever. Anything you say will be used against you. Anything we say will be used against you. if you cannot afford a lawyer, don't worry, it won't make any difference anyway.
Right. Oh, what a cynical attitude you have, young man. Cynic.
But all I did was just did what he was saying.
That's right.
You know.
Well, take a look at the next one. So that people get a flavor of what you're doing, because I think that you really have got a different idea.
This one's in the book. The last one's in the book, too.
I think this one's funny.
Oral Roberts, of course, who had said that if he was not, if he didn't receive a certain $4 million or something by March 31st, God would call him home, implying that he was going to die if he didn't give him his money. So after he got his money, I have him taking off the March calendar, and there's April, and it's April 1st, and that's when this cartoon ran. Thanks for the money, April Fool.
Oh, you know how to dig there. You know how to dig. I'll tell you right now, you're very good at that. Well, do you just listen to the news and then just sort of think about what you're going to do? And
well, I was just born blessed with a warped perspective of reality.
Right. That's now we're getting down to reality. Now we're getting down what you are.
This is the way I see the world.
Okay.
It's like in fact, Robert T. Smith, the columnist from the Minneapolis Star and Tribune, called me a terminal adolescent.
I noticed that.
And now, but I don't think that's quite true. I think I'm more like a 5-year-old. Because I'm like the little boy who said, look, the emperor has no clothes.
Okay.
You know, this is all very innocent for me.
Right.
I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. I see things this way. This is how I see them.
You do beautifully at it. I'm not going to flatter you. Do.
And all I have to do
Point
is
it out. Let's take a look at another one. It says people want to get a flavor of how you do things, because I think your approach is so unusual.
This one was on the
you just can tell people what it says.
Contra-Iran scandal.
Oh, right.
And you had all these positions changing. CIA Director Casey Weld testify on the left. North did not know on the left. All these things. And then on the right, a couple weeks later, you'd open the paper and you'd have just the exact opposite story, saying that Casey won't testify, or North, didn't know. So I just did the disinformation, data information.
But don't you know that this is typical of politicians? I mean, one time they say this, next time they say that.
Well, that's what
that's what
I said. Right.
A difference does it make whether it's the Iran scandal or anything else?
That's what I said.
I know. I realize your point. That's the point of the whole thing, is that driving point across. Hey, what the politicians say tomorrow may not be what they say the next day, or the next week, or the next month. If the journalists would just next hour maybe, whatever the wind shifts. That's typical of what goes on. Okay, take another one, so you just sort of get the feeling for what Pete is like.
This is, you remember the horrible accident, they called it, where the Iraqi jet fired upon the USS Stark, and it had all this exotic technology,
sophisticated technology, right?
That should have prevented that from happening.
Right.
Maybe you could close up on that little circle that's pointing to the reason why this happened.
Yeah.
And I think then you can get an idea. This is one of those cartoons I can't read. You just have to look.
Cartoon, well, come on now. Your eyesight isn't fit. The plug in the wall.
No, I mean, it's better not to explain it.
And I just want to explain to people what it was.
Yeah, but
it's a plug in the wall.
You can see it there.
Right, right. Well, I mean, I see that your point of view is really, it should get the people's attention, and maybe even make them angry, which is good, what you want to do, or make them upset, or maybe say, yeah, that's what I really think. That kind of thing.
Not necessarily I really don't like to make people angry. It's inevitable. I mean, sometimes you have to take that risk. I'd rather just get them, the idea of a political cartoon is just to get the person's attention on an issue.
Right.
That's really all you can do. It's the average reader only spends 8 seconds with a political cartoon.
Sure. Right,
so,
that's all they just spend. I hope they don't spend more, because if they spend more than 8, the poor cartoonist has lost whatever his point was. I mean, if you have to study the cartoon for half a minute or a minute, you might throw the cartoon away.
Well, some of them, now the trend now is for cartoons to be
wordy,
much more verbal.
Well, like wordy. The next one up we're going to show.
And
okay.
This is an example. This is one that I did, showing Senator Joe Biden. All right, I admit it. I cannot tell a lie. I plagiarized a few people, but that was 7 years ago.
Right.
I'm not going to let a little thing like this deter me. As I told my campaign staff, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. Why, this entire episode is just much ado about nothing. As we, the people, know, these are the times that try men's souls. But what the heck? Like I always say, give me liberty or give me death. To quote Gary Hart, I did a stupid thing. That was dumb. It's the only time he quotes quotes somebody.
Yeah, I think this is a good time for a little break.
Okay.
Then we'll come back to you. I haven't forgotten you. We'll come back. I can't believe that you missed an opportunity to talk about the Twins. Everybody talked about the Twins, and I had a feeling you weren't exactly left out in the dust on that one, too.
I did
You did a few things.
3 in a row.
3 in a row? You could have caught up in the old fever about the Twins.
I was.
Let's take a look at some of these Twin things you did. I know you did Twin things.
I knew we were going to win.
Oh, such confidence. I wish I'd been confident as you are.
I have to do these cartoons a week ahead almost, so I knew we were going to win, so I went and took the risk. This one's self-explanatory. Baseball's been very, very good to us.
I understand perfectly what the cartoon is all about. Right. Now, the thing that I want to emphasize to the audience also, plug here, you did a little poster-like thing dealing with, what was it, a road map of Minneapolis or something like that you did? Remember that big poster you gave me?
Yeah.
You gave me, and you even signed it. Remember what I'm talking about? Gopherland or something was it called?
Yeah, we go for you, Minneapolis.
We go for you, Minneapolis. Big Gopherland thing, which they can buy at the store. Stupid, you can buy at the store, so don't forget that. Go there. Yeah, I think it's very clever. You're too modest. You're too modest. You got to go out there and push, Pete. Look, let's go to the next cartoon. I think the next.
We have another Twins.
You did a
cartoon.
beautiful job. Oh, look at that!
This was
I
after.
tell you, beautiful caricaturing. By the way, he does caricaturing also
At parties.
at parties
Yeah,
for money.
That is fun. That is a fun job.
Yeah. Okay.
This is self-explanatory. I mean, if you watched, not that I'm criticizing these guys, but after watching all the attention that was lavished upon them, you couldn't help but think of what they must be experiencing. So.
Oh, why not? Adoration
Kelly,
is adoration.
Look at the manager, Tom Kelly.
Yeah.
he didn't
Said
seem
in the
to be
background. I thought that was a beautiful touch.
affected,
Beautiful touch, bury him. Now, the last cartoon, I think, is one of the best you've ever done, Pete. I love the cartoon. It's not a political cartoon,
Right.
but it could be, I suppose, for the ecologists. It is fantastic. I love this cartoon because it tells the story so well about Minnesota and their outdoor mania, their fishing mania.
Yeah, this one you'll have to zoom in on, too.
Zoom
Right
in that
right
little
in the
fish.
middle there.
Try to get on that
this was
one
at the,
fish in the middle of the lake.
start of the fishing
It's the fishing
season.
season. Come in on that one fish, all this boat, all this equipment, all this money spent for to catch this one little helpless fish. Oh, I think it's funny. I would think that the conservation department should use this as sort of one of their motifs on something. I'm not sure what. I think it's just absolutely fantastic idea. I mean, it just broke me up when I saw it. I just laughed like I've never laughed in my life about that cartoon. And I thought it was just a first-class one.
Oh, thank
now,
you.
hey, look, you're a political cartoonist. Why don't you work for a daily newspaper or something else like that? I mean, why don't you become a regular cartoonist? How can I use that
I'm
word,
glad you
regular?
asked that.
What the earth regular
You know,
means, I'm
there's
not
such a-
sure.
There's such a set idea that if you're successful, you have to work for a daily newspaper. And I would, in a way, I would like to work for, very much like to work for a daily newspaper, but I've found that I really enjoy living in Minneapolis. Bought a house here last year.
Ta-da, Chamber of Commerce, where are you?
I've gone around the country. I've done comedy around the country, and
Yeah.
there are not that many cities that are this big that are anywhere near as nice. And I like living here. I like working for a weekly newspaper. I have an editor who is just the greatest. We get together every Friday afternoon and yuck it up, and come up with ideas together. He's very gutsy, very courageous guy.
I've known some of
City
your cartoons.
Pages is, just one heck of a great paper to work for. So until something comes along, and also there is quite a bit of competition. There have been 2 that I applied to that it's very seriously, the Kansas City Star and the Phoenix Gazette, where I really wanted to work. And unfortunately, I was beat out by 1 or 2
Yeah,
who were ahead of me for whatever reason.
whatever reasons.
So it's very tough. The competition is incredible.
Hey,
There-
how
there
many
are
political
200,
I was just going to
200 jobs, 250 at the most in the country. That means there's 1 for every million, literally, there's a 1 in a million
1 in a million chance.
per,
Yeah,
people.
that's not very good odds, Pete.
So I'm very lucky to be at the Weekly, and something opens up at a daily and I can get in, that'll be great. But for now, I'm perfectly happy. I could stay here for 5 years, 10 years. You know, I'd be just.
Wonderful. Well,
I'd still
have
be-
you ever thought of doing a little column? I mean a little strip. Have you ever thought about that?
Yes, that is not really something I'm good at.
Okay.
I'm better at the one panel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, I think, Pete, I'm going to have you back again, but I'm getting the word from you-know-who, the boss, who says you got to bring this thing to a close. So as a result of this, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you watch Pete. I hope that you buy his book. Hold the book up, Pete. See the book? Give it to me or something. Give it to me. Plug. Plug, plug, plug. Okay, commercial, okay, along the way. So as a result of this, I hope that you watch for him in the, what's the name of that newspaper again you work
City
for?
Pages.
City Pages, okay. Watch in City Pages for his political kind of page 4, page 3?
Page 4.
Page 4 every time. So watch for him.
Friends, I don't mean to alarm you, but I have received a message from him, and he has told me that if I do not sell 1,000 copies of my new book, Buy This Too, that he will call me home. Friends, I don't want to have to go back to Milwaukee. Please, buy this too.
Peter, what are you going to do the rest of your life?
Cartoons.
Cartoons.
Caricatures.
Your caricatures. Well,
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure I understand what
that's
you're-
called. I
what
mean,
you mean.
what I'm asking in polite terms is, how are you going to make a living?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Okay.
It's a bit of a struggle. I'm you know, more like a self-employed person than I am like a cartoonist. For if you were at a daily, of course, you don't have to do anything else. Really. You can maybe do some syndication. By working at a weekly, it is necessary for me to do some other things. But one of the things I love doing, and that I do quite a bit, is hiring out to do caricatures at parties and meetings, well, conferences and events, weddings. There's nothing more fun than to go into a person's home or go into a group of people
Yeah.
who are having a ball and entertain them and sit there and be the center of attention and show off my ability to draw people, and which I've been doing since I was 5 years old. So for me, it's like writing my name.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
There's no work involved whatsoever. It's just fun. It's just pure fun.
And people love it.
And
I
they
tell you
love
that.
it, yeah.
They love
And
it.
Very
They-
seldom, one in a 1,000 is offended.
Offended by this. They
And,
see
and
yourself.
some of those people who don't like the caricature, they're the ones who I say, well, take it home, see if you like it tomorrow. A month later, they're calling me up to come and do caricatures at their party. So some people, it takes just a little, you know.
You drew a caricature of me once, and I remember with that chin sticking out, baby. I remember. Ooh, you cut me. You cut me on that one. I remember. You notice I come back for more. You notice I didn't stay away. Okay, but seriously, how much money do you make on these books? We're talking money here.
The book is not profitable.
The book is not
Book,
profitable.
any author, other than the big name James Michener or somebody like Ollie North, who's a media figure, and then they come out with a book and they get it out on the streets. Well,
Yeah.
even his didn't do that well, as I understand.
That's what I was saying. I
That's
didn't think his
right.
book did too well.
But
they took too long to get it out on the street.
oh, but that thing was out a week later.
Was it
They
out a
couldn't-
week later? I thought it was a month.
Oh, they couldn't possibly have done it any faster. That
Wow.
was just I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw how fast that thing
Well, I
was
hope he
out.
made a lot of money off of it.
But do you?
Well, I mean, I'm being a little
Showing your
facetious.
political,
I'm a little facetious here. Hope you make a lot of money. I have a feeling that you don't exactly make living off
No, the book
doing
is
your book.
the book is as a labor of love. It's something that I do because I really want to share my work with people and create something that's fun, and something that people can get a kick out of, and that if people like my cartoons, I have a few fans.
Not many, huh?
Not that many. I don't think it's political cartoons are not the sort of thing like like a gag cartoon where you have
Right.
that kind of a. But I do have a pretty decent following here. It's a pretty intelligent, hip
Right.
community.
All right.